Your exhibit is giving people a chance, it is, to see what it's like to be in Oregon many years ago. Sightseeing opens today at the University of Oregon Museum of Natural and Cultural History. The artifacts on display provide clues as to the people who lived here. What can we actually learn from them? Well, joining us live in studio right now, Ann Craig. She works with exhibitions at the museum. And when we think of archaeology, I think of dinosaurs. I think of long time ago. With these specific sites, 5 of them, in fact, they actually date back to like kind of the mid-1800s.
Right. Many of our exhibits date back as far as 14,000 years ago. That's as long as we know people have been in Oregon. But this exhibit is much more recent. So we're really excited to showcase the work of the archaeologists at sites that are since European Americans have been in the area. So that's a really a big change for us, and it's great to get these things from out behind the labs and out to the public.
Right, because many of these excavations took place a couple of years ago, several years ago. Now we're seeing the actual artifacts.
Exactly.
And what can you learn, like, from this bottle right here?
Well, these artifacts I brought in today are from a site in Portland. We call it the Portland Privy. A privy is an outhouse.
Right.
So at the time, in the 1880s, a privy, an outhouse, was also your trash dump. So this was a site uncovered just a few years ago and tells us a lot about the people who were living in that neighborhood at the time. We think it's mostly a working class neighborhood with a lot of immigrants. So I brought in today a beautiful bottle from Belfast, and you can see that it's from Belfast, it's imported, probably used by an immigrant. It's got a great round bottom, so we can date that to a time when you had to store your bottles on the side. You couldn't store them straight up.
Right.
Because the cork would dry out and would ruin the contents. So a lot of manufacturers made that round bottom to make sure that those bottles were stored on their sides. This other artifact, which is my favorite in the whole show, and I think that when your viewers come in, they'll all choose their favorites. But this is part of a pipe, and it has a stamp and seal on it that says Home Rule, and it has a harp on it. And we know that was a really popular motif for Irish people who were against British rule at the time. So that gives us a little clue into the people who were living there at the time and the kinds of things that they threw away in this privy, maybe as they moved out and moved on and got a better place to live.
And a lot of this isn't documented in our history books right now.
That's what's really exciting about this exhibit, is it sort of reveals the experience of these Oregonians who may have been left behind in our written history books. The archaeology doesn't lie. It gives us a lot of information that might not otherwise be available.
And something new at the museum this year also, you guys are expanding, doubling your space. We're going to see a lot of new exhibits coming our way, and we're going to have you back so you can tell us more about what's coming up. More about this exhibit, which is sightseeing. It does open today at 11, but next Friday, mark your calendar, the official opening reception where you get to meet the archaeologists, talk to them about their finds. That's going to be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. next Friday as well.